Hello, my name is Stanley Wood. I work with HarvestChoice, and I want to tell you a little bit about a tool, a web-based tool we've developed within the project, which we believe is going to be quite useful to many people. It's a tool called AgMarketFinder. It was developed by our own scientists here in the HarvestChoice project, together with a lot of collaboration from ESRI and a company called Spatial Dev. Let me tell you a little bit about the rationale. Why do we think this tool is even important, first of all? A lot of the work we do is focused on investments which will improve the productivity and profitability of smallholder agriculture in Africa. And so one of the dimensions of that is the affordability, accessibility of information, of knowledge, of services, of inputs, and also the possibility to sell inputs, outputs into the marketplace. So if you're thinking of being an input provider, a trader, you're setting up a processing factory, you need to know within a location, within an area, what is the availability of the crops or livestock products or the consumers that will make that market interesting for you. So we've developed a tool. It makes a lot of use of our spatial information. We use extensively a lot of GIS, Geographical Information System, georeference data. And we've embedded this in a tool. It's called AgMarketFinder. The name is, I think, says all about what I was just telling you. And basically it's a way of allowing users for any point in sub-Saharan Africa to go in and interrogate in a particular location what is the potential for those markets. Several aspects of the tool, and after I've been talking, we're going to sort of step you through that with a little demonstration of the application. But there's two or three questions we try to answer. So first of all is a specific location. It may be a small market town, maybe a larger area, maybe the junction of two roads. Here's a place that maybe is a place that we could establish a location for providing services, providing inputs, a place we could go to have a collection point for outputs. Where are those points? Where are the places where we'll get access to the crops, to the products that we might be interested in, or the types of farmers? So the first part of the tool is the question about the individual locations and their access to different types of crop and livestock commodities which are important to smallholders. The second part is thinking more broadly of areas, and we particularly overlay, in this case, districts of, say, Kenya or Uganda, and that'll be the particular case we show later on. Within those districts, what are those available crops? What are the distribution of the total numbers of livestock? What are the human populations? So what's the potential market if we do develop a processing factory? Are there consumers around so who will buy those outputs? And the third one is actually, we think, is quite a novel sort of application, which relies on some technology from Spatial Dev, the company I told you about before, which is for the user to actually define themselves, go into the map and click around and define an area which they think is relevant for their own interests. It may be a particular project, another, not necessarily a commercial opportunity. You're trying to describe to somebody a location in terms of these important characteristics of crop livestock population. Then the tool allows you to do that as well. So our hope is that this is going to be useful to many people. It's available on the web. You can interact with that in many locations, have these different questions you can ask, and most important of all, not just interact with the data on the screen, but there are several download options. You can put that in an Excel file to use in your own analysis, as a document, or as a shapefile. If you have the capacity and the resources to use the GIS, you can actually take that market information and overlay that with your own information and help you find more information to make your own informed choices. So have fun with AgMarketFinder, and just after this will be the demonstration of the software. Thank you. So let's look first of all and see we have the right location, the URL, marketfinder.info. That will bring you into this tool, the HarvestChoice AgMarketFinder application, which has two panels, the left-hand panel, a map, and the right-hand panel gives access to the different tools within this AgMarketFinder application. So on the left-hand side, we can scroll across and look at, in fact, throughout the whole of sub-Saharan Africa, and to find any particular location where we'd like to apply this Market Finder tool. Let's stick with this area between Kenya and Uganda, and let's just scroll around and apply the tools one by one and get an understanding of what they do. So here on the right hand side, you'll see there are three choices effectively of the different elements of the AgMarketFinder tool. First is an application that you select a point and it looks at different travel times in that location, what amount of crops, livestock and human population are within certain travel times of any specific location that you choose. Second element of the tool is you can look at those same variables but choose by administrative unit. Select an administrative unit and look at the market characteristics within there. How much maize, how many bananas, what area of production, number of population, livestock, etc. And third application is a custom area where you, the user, can actually specify the entire area you're interested in, clicking around, make the boundary of an area, and it will report back to you what are the particular area production of crops, the livestock and population within the area that's of interest to you. So let's activate the first tool and do an example of the travel time application. And let's say, for example, we are thinking of citing a service provision for inputs for veterinary provision for extension services in this location here. We select any location and we click on that location. The first thing that the application does is center the selected location in the center of the map window, and it starts processing, and that processing is effectively drilling down through the HarvestChoice data layers below this on crops, on livestock and on human population, and calculating within different travel times from that location what are the total number of interesting variables from a market perspective in there. It's run the application, it's computed the travel times, intersected that with the bottom layers, and so here we get the results on the left-hand panel. If we go in and look in a little bit more detail here, you'll see the shading here shows from lighter purple to darker purple. That's within 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, and 6 to 8 hours of our selected location in travel time. And then on the right-hand side, it tells you, first of all, by crop production, what are the crops you encounter within those different travel time bands from the selected location. What we see here, just quickly scanning down this list, in this particular example, maize is the preferred commodity within that region. A little bit of wheat, quite a few potatoes, cassava and banana and plantain. As we move out, we get a sort of richer diversity. We start to see a lot of sugarcane comes within the area. But basically, a complete overview of the crops which are within the HarvestChoice crop geography set, the SPAM data set. It shows you the results for all of those. This is the production in metric tons, but it also gives you some estimate also of the area of each of those crops, and that's helpful information when you think of that location as a potential point for providing services, or maybe a processing center or collection point for purchase of commodities to take on to other markets. Also a summary of the population, urban, rural and total population within those different travel bands, and finally livestock, the number, rough estimates of the cattle, chicken, goats, sheep and pigs within the same boundaries. We click here to tools, we can go back to the other application, and let's select another way to interact with the data. Here, what we're going to do, and maybe I just go and clear, keep this clear, this old application first. Let me clear that and then go over here and look at the administrative unit. And what you'll see now has appeared on the map of these administrative unit boundaries. And what we can simply do is go into any of these. Let's take this one here around Surati and click on this one. It'll center the map again around that particular district, and now it's going to derive the average conditions for those same variables we saw before, for the crop production, for the livestock populations, and for the human populations. So here you'll see on the right-hand side for the country is Uganda, the subnational district is Soroti, and then the particular sum of production of the different commodities. Sweet potato we'll see here is a particularly high, cassava is particularly high. Crop area, again obviously reflection of the production. Human population within that region, and also the total livestock numbers within that region. So that's the second sort of application of the tool, is to derive the averages or means across those different areas of district areas. The third one is a custom application, so let's clear this one. Let's zoom out a little bit again now from here. And let's think about the third application here, where what we want to do is define our own area. We have a project that we're designing, we have a catchment area that we think is of relevance to us, and we want to know within that area what is the total number of the crops, people, livestock within that. So let's say projected area is around Misindi and around Murchison Falls National Park. This is going to be what we think is our main area, but it's slightly different result we expect than the sorry, I have to activate the tool, active, and then go over here, and then we start to click around here and draw the boundary of the particular area that is of most interest to us. Each time we click, it lays down a vertex of a polygon that we can just keep going on until we close the double click to close that. It's taking that custom area, processing that information, and collecting the averages and totals across within there. So let's let it run through that. In fact, with any of these applications, and I'll focus on that now just in finishing, is when you look at the results, any of these results, down at the bottom of the table, you will get the option to download the information as a CSV file, as a PDF file, or as a shape file, so you can actually put it in another geographic application. So here's a CSV file. You click on that and it simply generates the CSV file, and then you can download that, import that into Excel or a PDF file or a shape file. Let me just show you that one again, maybe just to open that application. Here it comes down there, and here, so it's a custom area analysis. This is the date and time of making that assessment, and here are first of all the crop production units that are reported in tons, the crop area, the livestock counts, and the population. So all of the information we saw before that was reported actually through the interface. Let me close that down and go back to the application. That's it. So there it is, marketfinder.info. Please enjoy that, and if you have any feedback, you see down here, this is the place to report feedback. There's another tutorial here. We'd be very interested to know your experiences with the tool, and very interested to get any suggestions about improvement of the tool, and particularly quality of the underlying data. Thank you very much.